Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a pretty ridiculous one for you here today. Kicking it off with this woman right here, who is getting a little bit of a taste of equality, okay? We as dudes, we've been hearing this. I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. I'm a womanist. It's all about equality. We've been hearing this for quite a while now, but ever since it actually arrives at women's doorstep, they do not seem to like it, okay? Whenever a bill shows up, whenever a war starts, it is always the men who end up paying. So let's jump into this one. We also have a few more clips here today. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's jump into it.
My boyfriend says that he will still make me split the bills evenly, even if he's making $300,000 a year and I'm making $50K. Right now, my boyfriend of 10 years makes $115,000 a year, while I make $47,000 a year, and we split the bills completely even, except for a $37 discount because I clean 1 hour per week extra.
I always find it just really convenient, by the way. So you can already tell the comments on this video are just going to be supporting this woman, right? Oh, ditch him, queen. You deserve better. Any man who makes you go 50-50 isn't a real man. You guys have been together for 10 years. He should be paying everything. He can afford it. And I just find it so funny because all of these comments will be telling her to leave her relationship. I can already see it in my mind right now, guys. And this is the funny part, because women do listen to those comments. They listen to their quote-unquote friends. They leave these dudes, and then they end up completely regretting it. But something else I always find very funny about these video clips is the fact that women just happen to end up with dudes for long periods of time who earn more money than them, guys. I've said this before on the channel, but women are very logical with who they choose to have long-term relationships with. We as men, we get accused of being cold and calculating all the time. But women oftentimes are choosing long-term relationships because of what the man can provide, you know? Let's keep going.
The bills completely even, except for a $37 discount because I clean 1 hour per week extra, and he takes that discount out for that. I've been doing some thinking, and I feel like it would be better if it were more proportional, and that way we could both live a similar lifestyle. I have been going to food banks to be able to afford to live in Seattle because the rent is so high here, and we only live here because it gives him access to a high-paying tech job, and his family and friends are around.
Yeah, so you can already see the comments in this video. Oh, you know, so you're struggling so that he can have this higher paying position? I can already see the comments, guys, of women telling her to get out of this relationship. This man is no good, and so on, right? And of course, she wants it to be more proportional, because that way her life quality improves, right? He earns more, so he has to pay more, right? And this is the funny thing, guys, is like dudes go out here, they earn this amount of money, and then people just feel entitled to it, right? Their girlfriends start trying to tax them more because it's more proportional. Like, it's just so funny, guys. Whenever men have some degree of success, everybody wants to get their hands on it. The women want you to pay more money for them because it's only fair. You know, it's only fair even though they work less or they don't earn as much. The government wants to tax you and take your money, okay? You go out there, you try and invest in things like this, you take risks, and the government will also tax you whenever you make money by taking risks. I mean, it is ridiculous, guys. Dudes go out here, they have something going for them, and then everybody, including their girlfriends, just feels entitled to it because it's more proportional. You know, even though he's already paying 50%.
Mind you, I have no friends here, and my family lives states away. My rent is $1,600, and that's after the discount for house cleaning. That is so financially irresponsible of me to have that high of a rent given my income. And we split the rest of the bills and the utilities and things like that right down the middle. We are already living such a different lifestyle from each other. Like, he spends hundreds of dollars a month on a gym membership, and that's just literally not in my budget at all.
Okay, so how is that this guy's problem? You know, like, guys, It's crazy, right? Dude's earning 110K a year, and she's going, well, he spends a lot of money on a gym membership. It's like, yeah, probably because he makes $110,000 a year, probably because he can afford it, right? But women these days, man, they just expect that dudes will just provide for them, right? Like, and guys, I've said this before, nothing personally against traditional behaviors, but if your girlfriend is whining about it on TikTok, she's probably not a traditional woman who deserves you providing for her anyway. You see what I'm saying? And it's always expected of men. Men earn more money. Okay, he has to pay more things for me, right? Oh, he goes out here and he gets this gym membership. Yeah, I'm assuming because he can damn well afford it. These women are ridiculous, man. They're so damn ridiculous. But let's continue into the next clip. We have a little bit of a mixed bag here today. Let's take a listen.
Men partner because they want free labor, and women partner because we've been taught that we want romance and to seek romance at all costs necessary. I was on the phone with my grandmother yesterday, and she's a 90-year-old woman. She was telling me about her sister, who's a 94-year-old woman, who is in a partnership, not a marriage, partnership with a man that she has been with for a significant amount of time, and how he has a lot of demands in his old age. So
we are, how many seconds are we into this video? Like 10 seconds? And I already can't stand this woman. Guys, imagine, right? I have not even processed most of what this woman has said just because she's quite annoying to me, right? This is a little bit above my pay grade to be analyzing here. Imagine having a relationship with this, guys. You know, it's like, this is why these women struggle to get commitment from men, is because let's imagine this woman goes out on a date, okay? And then, so the dude thinks to himself, oh, wow, that was an okay date. She seemed normal, hypothetically. And then he just goes to her TikTok page, and then it's just crap like this, you know? Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, my goodness. And I love this excuse that women always provide, by the way. Oh, we're hardwired to seek romance and love. No, you're not. Tell that to all the women who hit 30 and now they're looking for a dude to provide for them. Or all of the single mothers and things like this who have a kid to some random dude and now they want men to provide for them. So they go out and they specifically seek dudes who will provide. You call that romance, you call that love, I call it just necessity. Okay, again, we as men, we're told that we are the cold and calculating ones when it comes to who we select to date, but it really couldn't be further from the truth. I think that women are far more logical with the men that they choose to date, especially when they start to need provisioning as they get older.
For a significant amount of time, and how he has a lot of demands in his old age. So that my grandmother will be on the phone with her sister, and she will have to be like swatting off her boyfriend, saying, you know what, give me a minute, I'm on the phone with my sister, I need a minute, like, I want time to myself. And he is just extremely demanding as he is in his old age. And it gets me thinking where women are not allowed to be themselves when they are in partnership with men, because men are so demanding for our time, our energies, our bodies, our space. And
I don't think anybody is really demanding of your space, madam. In fact, I am demanding more space from you. I cannot wait until this TikTok clip is over, guys. I never thought I'd say it, but I'm just excited to move on to the next one. Okay, so apparently men take up all of women's time. I actually think typically it's vice versa, man. Right, I really do. Like, wives and girlfriends, oftentimes they want to do the most pointless things. They try and, honestly, my understanding of it is that women are essentially taking up more of dudes' times. I always hear this thing of like, well, behind every successful man is a strong woman who got him there. And I'm sure there are situations where the women's support is absolutely crucial. But oftentimes, guys, these dudes are out here succeeding. They're making things happen when they're in relationships in spite of the woman, especially modern day women, guys. Like, let's be honest, a lot of these women are not really the supportive types. You're honestly probably going to be better off by yourself. You're probably going to have more success by yourself. You're probably going to have more peace by yourself. Now, I'm not saying that men are perfect. I'm just talking in general here. But I think that women are actually taking up a lot more of dudes' times. Let's continue.
With men, because men are so demanding for our time, our energies, our bodies, our space. And women have been conditioned to seek partnership with men in a romantic setting because they think that that is some level of success because of what we have been spoon-fed.
What what the hell? No, you seek a partnership with a man because it's basic biology. This has, you would, oh my goodness, this woman's hurting my brain. Okay, so let me get this straight. If it weren't for the romance books and the movies and things like this, you wouldn't seek partnership with men. Like this is all just due to modern day media, and that's why you seek partnerships with men. Otherwise, if it weren't for the books and the movies, men are just too demanding and you wouldn't do it. You understand that men have provided and cared for women for literally thousands of years, right? This whole civilization was essentially built by dudes. The phone that you are recording on right now, built, designed, created by men. You know what I'm saying? Like, these women are so damn entitled, guys. Oh, we wouldn't partner with men. We're just conditioned to do it. No, you're not. It's in your basic biology. The same way that men are biologically programmed to get with women. It's called nature. Like, guys, I'm telling you, so many times I see these videos, these women just take no accountability in any form whatsoever. Nothing is due to them. It's all just they were conditioned, right? Or it's just some extra force that makes them get in relationships and make their decisions. Like, where is the accountability, guys? Where is it? Because I never see it in these videos. I really don't.
Movies, books, TV shows, news, all of that is to get women to give their time and labor to men for free.
What labor are women doing for men? I'm so confused. Like, are you referring to the house, like cooking and cleaning, the traditional women? Because oftentimes the traditional women are getting provided for. Like, women are not out here doing labor for dudes for free and giving their time for free. They'll go out there and give their bodies and time to men that they're attracted to, I suppose, if that's the argument you want to make. But again, where's the accountability in that? You want to go hook up with random dudes? I mean, how's that my problem? You can't really complain about you giving away your body for free when you're the one who's choosing to do it. Very simple solution. Just don't damn do it. Let's continue on to the next clip, shall we?
I just had a thought. Do you think if men had to do the work of wives, they would still want to get married? Like, if the roles were reversed and the spousal expectations on wives and husbands swapped, right? The gender roles swapped. Do you think men would still want to be married as much?
I mean, you're already losing on that front, I'll say. A lot of guys are not interested in getting married anymore. Dudes have completely dipped out of marriage. It's a complete scam for men. I've heard women nowadays starting to say it's a scam for women. I find that to be incredibly funny. The government isn't facilitating men to steal from women nearly as much, but hey. So, absolutely hilarious start to this video. I think that here's the thing, guys. If the marital roles were switched, right, the women had to be providers and the men had to stay at home, the women just wouldn't be in that situation. Women do not provide for dudes over long periods of time. They simply do not do it. They get sick of it. They disrespect the man. They absolutely despise men that they have to provide for long periods of time. Men don't mind providing for women for long periods of time. Like, they really do not. Like, a lot of guys will happily have a long-term marriage and things like this, you know, or at least back in the day regarding marriage. They'll happily have their long-term relationships and look after women the whole time, assuming the woman is actually pleasant and feminine and doesn't eat a truckload of McDonald's. But the reason why it doesn't go the other way around is because women don't want it to. When do you ever see women going out here looking for dudes that they can provide for? When are women out here looking for stay-at-home fathers? They're not. They get to 30 and they're like, screw this, I don't want to work anymore. I want a man to pay the bills. Perhaps I want to have some kids because my biological clock is ticking. But hell no, I don't want to be working. They could, guys. Like, women have all the power in the dating market. They could go out there and find stay-at-home fathers if they really wanted to, but they don't. Women are not attracted to dudes that they have to provide for. I can't believe I have to explain that.
I had a thought. Do you think if men had to do the work of wives, they would still want to get married? Like, if the roles were reversed and the spousal expectations on wives and husbands swapped, right? The gender roles swapped. Do you think men would still want to be married as much? Or is part of the appeal the invisible labor? This someone taking care of you and your property and your things and your children?
Here's a question for the women, okay? If it is invisible labor, then is it really labor? Because if it's if it's actual labor, then it's going to be visible. I love how these women, right, they'll sit here and they'll go, man, all of this labor that I'm doing for free. Yeah, we call that just being a mother. We call that just being a girlfriend, to be honest with you. How about the crap that the dude's providing for you, right? Going out there working, paying your bills, paying the rent. I mean, are we calling that invisible labor? Should he be should he be paid for for providing for you? We don't ever have discussions about that, guys. Like, again, if you don't want to be a stay-at-home mother, don't be one. I don't care. You're insane anyway. You know, like, but these women, they expect to be compensated. At that point, the dude might as well just go out there and hire a maid or something. He's not getting compensated to look after your ungrateful ass. Makes no sense.
Running your errands, doing your grocery shopping, cooking your meals. Like, I think it's time we get some of these trad husbands to start making day in a life videos, because I would love to see the perspective where they talk about marriage in a way that talks about the relationship and intimacy that they have within their relationships and their marriages, and not just the roles that they play and the domestic duties that they provide.
Okay, so here's the thing. The reason why dudes don't document their day is probably because, number one, they don't need validation from random strangers online. And number two, they're probably out there working, so they don't have time to record stupid videos. You know that roof over your head that you have with the work, I mean, with the bills and such that are being paid? Yeah, the dude is typically doing that. So no, he's probably not going to record day in the life videos because he's probably out there doing something. Like, this woman doesn't seem to understand. The reason why she can sit here and record these videos is because a man is allowing her to do that and giving her that extra time. If she was at work, actually working, providing for, you know, paying the rent and things like this, she probably wouldn't have the time nor the interest in making TikTok videos. I mean, she probably would still want to do it because she needs validation from random strangers on the internet. But you see my point. Dudes are not making these videos because, I don't know, they might actually be busy, for example. And you know what? The dudes are not complaining about it. Like, guys, dudes will go out here. They will provide for their women on a long-term basis, and they don't consider it settling, okay? They don't consider it unpaid labor. You know what they call it? Taking care of their family. Maybe you should learn a thing or two. Holy hell. Absolutely disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, next one seems to be a car video, guys, so brace yourselves. Oh boy, let's jump in.
I am single at 31, and that
Obviously.
is definitely not something I ever thought I would be saying. When I was younger, that I would be married with kids, I'd have my house at 31, and instead my partner of 4 years and I have decided to go separate ways. I have moved back to Sydney in with my parents. Semi-treated like a 14-year-old, like they forgot that well, at least my mum has forgotten that I know how to live. And
I mean, you say that you know how to live, but your relationship has failed and you had to move back in with them. Right? So, like, if you knew how to live, wouldn't you be paying your own rent and actually be strong and independent? You see, your mother is assuming that you're not strong and independent because you're not strong and independent. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, guys, there was an amicable split. Both of them decided to separate. I call BS on this one, guys. Statistically speaking, the women are the ones who are leaving their relationships. They are leaving their marriages. For marriages, it's something like 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women, depending on how educated the woman is. So if the woman is educated, it goes up to 80 to 90%. Otherwise, it's just your low standard of 70 to 80% of the time. I imagine this statistic is also reflected in relationships. Because here's the thing, guys, and again, in these videos, if the man did something terrible, you would probably hear about it, right? The dude cheated on me. He was a piece of crap. I had to get the police called on him because of certain situations, right? But you don't hear those things. So that typically tells me that the woman broke up with him, or, you know, or the guy was just absolutely. And also, by the way, I would argue that in the times where dudes break up with the women, they are just absolutely forced to, whether the woman cheats on them or she's just being a complete leech in your life. And there's no point providing or caring for her because she's ungrateful and she's got an attitude all of the time. You know, like dudes really, by the time they break up with a woman, they are at their wits' end typically. Usually when women break up with dudes, they know long before the dude even knows that he's going to get broken up with. But let's run it back and continue.
That I would be married with kids, I'd have my house at 31, and instead my partner of 4 years and I have decided to go separate ways. I have moved back to Sydney in with my parents, semi-treated like a 14-year-old, like they forgot that well, at least my mum has forgotten that I know how to live.
Yeah, your mother's probably pissed. She's like, damn it. We got this woman out of the house like 10 years ago. She moved out when she was like 21 and now she's back. I don't think a lot of parents really want to have their daughters move back in at 31, single, no kids, no nothing. And by the way, when she says that, oh, I was hoping to have my house by 31, you already know what she meant was she hoped that she'd have a successful dude who had bought his house that she could move into at 31. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's like these women are not the ones typically getting and paying off their mortgages. They're shacking up with the dudes who have already built the life. Do you see what I'm saying?
And honestly, it feels embarrassing. You know, the first thing I think of is being 31 and so many of my friends are in happy relationships with kids, they're engaged, they're married, and I'm like, cool. Obviously so happy for them, but then I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I'm just not where I thought I would be. And it's certainly a hard pill to swallow, like a really, really hard pill to swallow, especially moving into my parents' house, you know. Like my room is the same as it was when I was like 18 years old. I want to find my own place, but Sydney rentals are ridiculous at the moment. And I'm like, I can't afford to spend $600 to $900 a week on rent.
Yeah, Australian rent prices are absolutely ridiculous. We're going through what is known as a housing crisis at the moment. I imagine this is true of a lot of Western societies right now. Inflation is absolutely through the roof. I can't really speak on places like America, but this woman's actually correct here. Rent prices in Australia are absolutely stupid. They are record highs level of stupid, especially if you go to I believe Sydney is actually the largest city in Australia.
Plus, I also think I want to go traveling and live between like Sydney, Melbourne, LA, and London. Wait. So rent's expensive, and yet she wants to go traveling absolutely everywhere, right? So she wants to go to LA, she wants to go to London, has no house, no relationship, no nothing. I can't afford to spend $600 to $900 a week on rent. Plus, I also think I want to go traveling and live between like Sydney, Melbourne, LA, and London. Waiting for the part where I get excited about life and my next chapter, because that one closed and decision we made, but like, you know, I think it's the right one, and that's the thing. You never know if it is the right decision or not.
I mean, sure you do, right? See, the thing is, you know it's a bad decision because you're single at 31. Like, I don't understand this logic, man. Women just go out here, they make these decisions, they ruin their lives or whatever, they sabotage their relationships, and then they sit there in their car and they record TikTok videos, man, and they're like, you know what? Maybe it was the right decision. What the hell? Like, where do these people learn to make decisions, guys? Maybe it's those Disney movies and such that the woman was talking about previously, because like that is absolutely crazy. Oh, you know, it might be the right decision. Prince Charming's just around the corner. I've always said, but I really do think that this is a privilege that women are really given, is that they can afford to make a lot of these mistakes because people are still going to want them. But the problem is you're going to run into the issue of the biological clock, right? Here's the trade-off. You can be a woman who has absolutely nothing. You have no resources. You have no status, right? You have nothing. You have no degree, no high-paying job, and so on. And people will still be interested in you. Guys who are very successful will still be interested in you if you don't eat a lot of fast food and you are halfway pleasant to be around, okay? Now, the trade-off there for women is like typically their biological clock is a fair bit shorter than men's, okay? So you can get a successful man with absolutely nothing. But here's the thing, right? Dudes have the advantage of having a bit more time. But dudes have to provide a lot more than you. And this is why I don't feel sorry for these women who are like 31 years of age, guys, is because they have had all of the power in dating this entire time and they still screw it up. Half the time, it takes dudes until they're like significantly older to actually become attractive to women. You know, a dude might be 30 before he becomes financially stable enough for most modern women to even consider him for a long-term relationship, as if that's an honor, because usually the women are just going to use him for his resources anyway. But the point is, dudes typically have to put in a lot more to attract a lot less quality, and yet women are still screwing themselves over by making the decisions like this and ending up single at 35. I think it is very funny, guys. I think it is absolutely hilarious to me.
My next chapter, because that one closed and decision we made, but like, you know, I think it's the right one, and that's the thing, you never know if it is the right decision or not. I just want people to know they're not alone. You know, if you're 31 and recently single, if you're in your 30s recently single, if you're like in your 20s and recently single, like, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, this is very common for modern women, guys. They're single all over the place. A lot of women are really you know, they're really going through the relationships. They're treating dating and things like this like it's a marathon when it really isn't. But hey, we'll see if it pays off in the long run, and I will be here ready to record and laugh at some videos.
I feel you. And you know what? Let's share this journey together, because I need an outlet. Otherwise, I will probably just go insane. So, single and 31. Here we go.
Single. Okay, so single and 31, and moving back in with the parents. This is, yeah, the mother is probably really quite disappointed. Let's continue into the last clip for today, shall we, guys?
The whole men suck, there are no good men left in this world conversation is what makes women settle. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna put the name of the woman who spoke on this right here. I forget her name right now. I'm so bad with names, but she made such a good point and I loved it. When we talk about how much men suck and how there are no good men left in this world, we are basically convincing ourselves to settle for what we have because you're not gonna find better.
Oh my goodness, it's another one of these settle women, okay? So guys, I brought up a chart previously, like a flow chart in one of the recent episodes. It was one of the last 2 or 3 episodes that I recorded. And you see, this is the part in that particular flow chart. Maybe I can get my editor to put it up on screen right now. But there's a part in that chart where women have to acknowledge that they are settling, right? It's part of the whole process, because then you get the justifier trying to divorce the guy and taking his assets and his family later, guys. So what happens is women go through, you know, 20 to 30, typically smashing bad boys, but then they need to actually lock down a guy who's going to care about them. And so what happens is when women do this, they feel like they're settling because he's not as attractive as the previous dudes, right? Because he's not attractive as attractive as the men that she used to hook up with, so she's settling and she deserves better. So women inevitably get into these relationships and try and get into these marriages so that they can have provisioning, but they never respect these dudes. They're not attracted to them, and they actively just use them for their resources before they inevitably ditch their ass to return back to dating the bad boys.
People will kind of be like, yeah, well, I don't love this about my relationship, or yeah, I'm going to settle for this, or yeah, I mean, you have to deal with this and you have to deal with that, but that's just life. At least he's not cheating on me. Or, oh my gosh, all the single women struggle so much with finding a good man. I don't want that to be my problem too. So they settle for mediocrity because it's better than the unknown. And in our mind, all the good men are taken and all the men that are left are bad and horrible. Don't get me wrong, I am first to say I hate men, because sometimes I really do hate men. But
wow, I can't wait to, I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited to date and have a marriage with that. Right? Again, dudes will check these women's TikTok at one point or another if they haven't been turned away by the craziness beforehand. So there's a low chance that's happened, but I mean, low chance they made it this far, I mean. But they will go on and they will check these women's TikTok accounts inevitably at some point. And then imagine seeing a video like this, right? You're considering taking a woman seriously. You know, you're taking her out on dates, maybe you're really doing the things that dudes are supposed to do. You're paying the bills, guys. You're paying for the the meals, you're taking her out on dates, you're planning, you're doing everything by the book that you're supposed to do. And then you just see TikTok videos like this and you're like, what the hell? You're like, what the hell have I been doing this entire time?
But I hate the bad men. And I do truly believe there are such good men out there because I know good men. I've had a good man. I am absolutely positive that good, amazing men exist. And
yeah, so you've had good men, but where are they now is always the question. Guys, the good men get thrown to the wayside. They get used and they get thrown to the wayside.
yeah, maybe it's more rare to find, but I'm more rare to find too. So
really.
It kind of makes sense. This is just a reminder to not settle because you think that there's nothing better. That's a really bad reason to not settle. And I think sometimes we forget that. Settle when you know that you have the best, not when you think that you can't find better.
Yeah, so this is why all of you girls are single, by the way. Right? Is because you're always looking for that next big meal ticket, that guy who's better than the last one. You know, John was great. He was a great man. He looked after me. But, you know, Steve over here, Steve has a better car and he has a better paying job. So I'm not going to settle for man A. I'm going to hold out for man B. Oh, what's that? Man B doesn't want to commit to me. Oh, he's not a real man. I'm going to keep holding out. Now, the first guy, he loved me and everything, but you know, he just didn't have a good enough car. He wasn't really as tall as I would like. He didn't hit the gym. He didn't have the muscles I wanted, and so on and so forth until bam, you're 45, you've got several cats, and you're making TikTok videos. Guys, I'm going to be leaving today's episode there. I've had enough for today. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.